What's going on YouTube, any social mediums? So about a week ago I made another video that was detailing the espionage levels that are undergoing complete remodifications and are actually being actively employed against any US civilian or minority within the area. That was a week ago. We are now dealing with a civil rights, human rights violations by, of course, once more, the local and national sectors of our government. And this only highlights the point that all these technologies are being used to target minorities. Whether you see it as a psychological operation or not, the division tactics, and now get this, the country saying that these are outside influences within a country that conducts widespread surveillance. How exactly does that happen? There's your fucking problem. So we're losing 100 billion, and yet when people feel the need to go outside and protest, do an active peace rally, they're met with resistance from the same corrupt branches of government at the local and national sectors, which our very own president has stated that has got to stop. The spying of the civilian, the spying of our people is not something that's okay. So for those people that know what surveillance tech is, every single person that went to these protests, whether they're a minority or not, that gave the feds, or whoever you want to refer to them as, and this is a psychological strategy, the terrorism as a tactic to breach surveillance and security clauses within our own national and federal frameworks. However, they were not the only ones that were doing that. So in essence, they're using terrorism as a psychological strategy to push shit. That's nothing new. So when I was young, we had 9/11, and that shit was a separate matter on its own. So now what do we have? We have the George Floyd thing, and a bunch of other things that have happened. So when people go out there and protest, and they have all their technology with them, their cell phones, this gives the local and national sectors a very gray area, not even a gray area, because they've always overstepped the law. It gives them an interesting point in which they try to link unrelated, uncorrelated things together, just for the simple sake of conducting more espionage, wherever that may be, whatever it may entail, and whoever it may involve. This has been ongoing for a while now. And so every single protester, whether you were in Pennsylvania, whether you were in Chicago, whether you were anywhere within the United States, these Stingray technologies operated by the local and national sectors of government intercepted every single data communications. What does that translate into for the average person? They basically leached, and did a whole sweep of who you talk to, who it is you're affiliated with, and they're using the pretense of a counter-terrorism strategy, when clearly this was also the result of the failed coordination of the very same sectors that I'm addressing. How do these things work? Everywhere above those rooftops and all these places, they all have that type of technology. So every single time we step outside, we connect to a fucking tower. It might not be our cell phone tower, it might not even be this country's. However, understanding that in the scope of the protesters and those who support and are an activist for the unwarranted violence, unwarranted surveillance of every American citizen and minority within the US of A, I think they can see this and understand it very clearly. Yeah, no. This has gone on for way too long. People are not blind. People in the area know. People everywhere know. They're actively being spied on. What makes this a very interesting case, however, not solely focusing on what happened with the George Floyd thing, is the fact that many of those organizers, protesters, were in fact from international countries. However, that does not give you access to wiretap or eavesdrop on their connections, and by proxy, people in their vicinity. Yet it's happening. It's happening. But the more people that are aware, the better. Because in essence, the more people that are aware of everything that goes on, the way better things can be off. Because if you haven't noticed, the minority community within this city, state alone controls more than 50% of everything that goes on here. And now when we're crossing into international clauses and international boundaries, all of our jobs and things are offshored, and they're assets that do not reside within the USA. That translates into the surveillance sector as a whole as well. Right there. So there you go. Those same towers are the ones that are being used to leach data. So anytime you see a protester, anytime you see some type of a resistance movement, they're going to counter it by saying that they're using this as a terrorism ploy. In case anyone has not noticed, the terrorism as a strategy for psychological operations has been long implemented for a long time now, and it seems that they just keep repeating the same thing. If that were the case, I thought this was the most advanced country, most security, technologically, systematically linked system of systems, yet it does not appear to be so. And so of course the government, local, national sectors use this as an excuse to apply that to the general of society. That'll never be fine, it'll never be permissible, and it will never be done.